Hey guys, this is Team Winning's Bryan again. I've shown you 3 old decks, pretty much. Well, I've shown one old deck. There's more coming on, so I figured I'd go ahead and introduce a new deck. With set 3, they made Tachikaze playable, and they released... Well, they made Tachikaze and Dark Irregulars playable, and they released a brand new playable clan out of the gate called Pale Moon. So, I've already got Pale Moon deck built. I will have Tachikaze built by the end of the week, and I can go ahead and show that. I'm probably going to mention that in another video just because I'm absent-minded like that. So without further ado, this is your starter. It's called Hades Ringmaster. Basically, when you ride a Pale Moon on top of this card, you can soul charge 1. It's kind of interesting because it's one of the few nowadays that doesn't call itself out, and the soul charge is kind of useful. Basically, the 2 ways to play this deck is you can either play like a soul ramp version, or you can play more conservative. I'm not a big random soul charge fan, just like I'm not a big random discard fan, as you've seen in my last video with Grand Blue. So I soul charge a little bit, but not enough. So let's get him out of here. I play 4 crits in here because that's all that we've been given so far. They only gave us 4 triggers, so I'm having to work with what I have. This is actually the deck that I would probably maybe play a 4-4-4 line in. 4 crit, 4 stand, 4 heal, 4 draw. Just because it does kind of like to stand. I'm still out on the market on that one. When Purple Trapezes and Sarah come out, I probably will actually play it as 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal, like I play everything else. It's just your standard crit trigger, nothing special. This deck got 2 draws, and I'm playing 4 of each, because otherwise I couldn't play it. The Rainbow Magician here has an ability that if you boost with it and you hit, you can soul charge 1. If you soul charge, you can shuffle it back in. Excuse me. Most of the time, you probably will not use this ability. You're probably just going to draw the card and then block with them and get them out of the hand. It really just depends on what your options are. Maybe you want... Excuse me. Maybe you want to take the chance and soul charge and see if you have options later in the game. Most of the time, you may want to have it a little bit more controlled, and I'll show you how you can control it here in a minute. And then you got 4 Candy Clowns. I find this artwork really hilarious just because he throws candy at you. It's like, okay, the only person this is effective against is a fat kid. And even then, it may not be effective. I don't know anymore. So it's your heal trigger, 5k, 10k shield, yada yada, so on and so forth. Let's get him out of here. Alright, next on the list is your Perfect Guard, which is called Hades Hypnotist. Call it the Guardian Circle, discard a Pale Moon from your hand. Pale Moon in play that's under attack cannot be hit for that attack. So, pretty self-explanatory. The next one is Turquoise Beast Tamer. I play 4 of it. Its ability is if you have a Crimson Beast Tamer in Soul, it gets Power 3000. The thing to note about this is it's Power 3000 regardless of whether it's a booster or a swinger. So it can actually be useful mid to late game if you just need to pump extra damage in and you have no extra guy behind her. You can just move her up and swing. So the next card is the classic 8k beater that they play. Theirs is called Dark Metal Bicorn. Pretty self-explanatory, 8k. Usually you'll have this as a starter and maybe behind your... You'll usually ride it first and may have it behind your Vanguard. Usually the one you will end up with behind your Vanguard outside of Bicorn is going to be her, which is Midnight Bunny. Her ability is Counterblast 1, add it to Soul. If this boosts something that successfully hit, pay the cost, and then you can choose a Pale Moon from your Soul other than Midnight Bunny and call it to a circle. Yeah, it doesn't even say open circle, so you can actually overlap stuff. In the next set, when we get Purple Trapezes, she gets really good, as do the other Counterblast cards that do the exact same thing as Midnight Bunny. So at the moment, it's not as great because outside of the Vanguard, usually they're just going to block, but I will show you a loop that revolves around her. Alright, on to my grade 2s. I'm going to go ahead and start with Mirror Demon here. Mirror Demon pretty much does the exact same thing as Midnight Bunny, except since it's a grade 2, it's just when it hits. Thing to note about this, if I remember my reading right, is it just says when it hits. It doesn't say when it hits a Vanguard. So you can actually push into the rear guard to force them to waste a 10k shield, or you can just get another card out of it. Same thing, counterblast 1, add it to soul, get something out of your soul other than Mirror Demon, and call it. So it has its uses. The next card I play is 4 Crimson Beast Tamers. It has the same effect as Turquoise Beast Tamer, which is if you have another copy of Crimson Beast Tamer in your soul, she gets power 3000. That's both Vanguard and Rearguard slots. So, usually you want to end up riding her. If you miss riding her, it's okay. You can still recover. You can recover with one of the grade 3s. So other than that, she's a way that you can make a... Actually, she's currently the only way that you can make a 20k rearguard column with this deck outside of, natural triggers. And that's with her and Turquoise Beast Tamer. That's an 11 and then a 9k booster, so it makes a 20k column. Next card is 4 of its vanilla 10k beater, which is called Barking Cerberus. It's a clown dog. Yeah, it's a clown dog. That's pretty self-explanatory right there. Fear this thing. On to the 3s. The 3s, I play 3 Nightmare Doll Alice. Does the same thing as Mirror Demon. When it hits, counterblast 1, add it to soul, search your soul for something other than Nightmare Doll Alice, and call it to an open rear guard. She's in the classic loop play that I will show you as soon as I show you my last grade 3 that I play. And this, in my opinion, is currently the most useful one, which is Barking Manticore. It's only useful as a Vanguard, but it's fine. You'll usually end up chain riding him. If you have a Crimson Beast Tamer in your soul, it gets power 3000. And when you ride this card, you may draw... Well, actually, it's not even you may. It's draw a card, and then choose a card from your hand and add it to soul. This is where, if you miss your Crimson Beast Tamer ride, you can recover, because you can just draw a card and add the Crimson Beast Tamer in your hand to soul. With this deck running 8 draws, it's actually not terribly difficult to find your Beast Tamers or anything else. You can use this to add Midnight Bunny, Nightmare Doll Alice, Mirror Demon. Usually what you'll add with this is either Crimson Beast Tamer or Nightmare Doll Alice, one of the two. But again, it depends on what's in your hand. You can add Mirror Demon, Midnight Bunny, and still be fine. Now, the loop that revolves around this is we're going to assume that Manticore here is already your Vanguard. We're going to assume that you have a Nightmare Doll. I'm going to back these up a little bit. And we're going to assume that you have a Nightmare Doll in soul already. We're also going to assume, and this is part of how the loop works, where did my stupid bunny go? There's my bunny. That you have a bunny. And this will usually be after you exhaust all their stuff. So you're going to try and push for it this way to get a trigger, so you can go ahead and make this a 22 and just see what happens. After that, you probably have a full damage zone of counterblast. So what you'll do is you'll swing with this, and if it hits, then you start your counterblast chain. Since you have a Nightmare Doll Alice in here, and these both activate at the same time, you'll counterblast 1, add the Nightmare Doll Alice to your soul, or add the Midnight Bunny, and then you get a Nightmare Doll Alice out of your soul, and you get it over here. And it comes into play standing. And then you can resolve Nightmare Doll Alice, counterblast 1, add the Nightmare Doll Alice to soul, pull the Midnight Bunny, and move it over here. Let me rearrange. Sorry, I'm still not used to my webcam, so I'm not used to how much field space I have. And then if you have more open damage, which you may have 4 at this point, you can do it again. And then you hit them, and then you do the exact same loop. You counterblast 1, add the Midnight Bunny, pull the Alice, and put it over here. And then you counterblast 1, add the Alice, pull the Midnight Bunny, put it over there. The thing to note about all these abilities is that they don't require an open rearguard circle, so if you've already swung out with column B over here that you can't see, and you're really trying to push for game and you're pretty sure they don't have anything, then it's not necessarily a bad idea to go ahead and retire these to be able to move the column over here after you do your Soul Blast. So, I mean, other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. The deck's actually really effective in its current form. It'll only get better when Set 7 comes out and you get Lukier and Sarah and Purple Trapezist. So, other than that, that is my one current new deck for this season. If these are posted earlier than the rest of the videos, then you will see Tachikaze at the end of the week, which will probably be Friday or Saturday. Other than that, thanks for watching. Please comment, subscribe, rate, ask questions, ask for videos. I don't mind. And other than that, team winning out.